Hey NFL fans, before we dive into today's hottest stories, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. From NFL News Now, it's not every week in the NFL that you get to witness a quarterback step into a level of performance so polished, so commanding, and so historically rare that even the most seasoned fans have to sit back, blink twice, and say, "Hold up, he did what?" But that's exactly what Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott has delivered over the last month, culminating in a 44-20 demolition of Washington that felt less like a divisional rivalry and more like a masterclass in modern quarterbacking. And now, with 4 straight games of at least 3 touchdowns and 0 interceptions, Prescott has officially entered a club so exclusive you might as well need a retina scan to get in. We're talking Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Russell Wilson, and now Dak Prescott standing shoulder to shoulder with generational legends who have shaped the last 2 decades of NFL football. But while some quarterbacks stumble into a hot streak by accident, Prescott has carved this one with purpose, precision, and a level of confidence that feels like a man fully aware of what he's capable of and fully committed to proving it every single snap. It's the kind of stretch that changes narratives, that turns casual believers into full-blown disciples, and that makes even the most cynical NFL observers admit that something special might be happening in Dallas. What makes this run even more jaw-dropping is that Prescott isn't doing it in garbage time or against teams already prepping their off-season golf trips. He's slicing up defenses that know him, defenses designed to exploit his tendencies, defenses that historically have forced him into difficult reads and tight window throws, but over these last 4 games, that Dak doesn't exist. The current version is sharper, more decisive, and more poised than at any other point in his career. In the Washington game alone, Prescott went 21 of 30 for 264 yards and 3 touchdowns. Not monster statistical output in terms of yardage, but the efficiency was practically flawless. No risky throws, no costly hesitation, just an elite understanding of rhythm, timing, and situational awareness that let him control the game like a conductor leading a symphony. There's a reason defensive coordinators look at Prescott this season and see their nightmares embodied, because it's one thing for a quarterback to be talented, and it's another for him to be completely in command, seeing the field with clarity and manipulating defenses with the calm of a seasoned chess master. Right now, Prescott looks like he's playing a game everyone else is still loading, of course. It wouldn't be a Cowboys storyline without owner Jerry Jones jumping into the conversation with the subtlety of fireworks in a library. But even Jones' typical enthusiasm carried a different tone. When he spoke about Prescott's MVP candidacy, there was no sugarcoating, no exaggeration for the sake of headlines, just genuine admiration and belief. "He's mine and he should be Cowboy fans," Jones said, radiating the kind of pride usually reserved for a parent watching their kid's graduation speech. "And he gives us a tremendous opportunity, and this team is really following him." And he's not wrong. This Cowboys team has fully bought into Prescott, not just his arm talent, not just his production, but his leadership. His presence has become the emotional backbone of a locker room that feels unified, confident, and hungry. Every gesture, every command, every play called and executed with precision reinforces the same message. This is Dak's team, and he's operating like a quarterback who knows exactly how much weight he carries and embraces every ounce of it. Then came the moment that every quarterback secretly dreams of: Tom Brady himself handing Prescott the LFG Player of the Game recognition. That's not just a pat on the back, that's the quarterback version of being knighted by the king. Brady knows elite play when he sees it, and for him to single out Prescott speaks volumes about the level the Cowboys quarterback is performing at. After hearing the praise, Prescott didn't drown in it or brush it off. Instead, he responded with the kind of cool confidence that defines true elite competitors. "When we play to what we're capable of doing, we're going to be a very, very tough team to beat," he told Brady. And he didn't say it with arrogance, but with the quiet certainty of someone who finally sees his preparation, his growth, and his potential converging into something real and undeniable. Behind every quarterback playing at this level, there's a support system firing on all cylinders. And for Prescott, chemistry is the secret sauce fueling this run. Getting CeeDee Lamb and Cavante Turpin back has transformed the Cowboys' offense into something much more dynamic and unpredictable. Lamb, especially, wasted 0 time returning to top-tier form. hauling in 5 catches for 110 yards and a touchdown that set the tone early and reminded everyone exactly why he's one of the most explosive receivers in the league. Their connection right now looks effortless, like two musicians improvising in sync, always a step ahead of the defense, reading each other's body language with absolute clarity. It's the kind of chemistry that can't be coached, only built over time, through trust and repetition and mutual belief. Prescott himself highlighted just how special this offensive unit feels. The chemistry, the camaraderie, the trash talking, the emotions and passions of this unit. It's there as much as I've ever seen it, he said, and it shows. Every drive feels like a collective effort. Not just a quarterback willing them down the field, but an entire offense moving with unified purpose. Offensive coordinator Clayton Adams deserves his flowers too. Under his vision, the run game has resurfaced with new energy, especially with Javonte Williams rediscovering his burst and physicality. A strong running game doesn't just pad stats, it takes pressure off the quarterback, opens up play action, and keeps defenses guessing. Right now, Prescott is benefiting from a perfectly balanced ecosystem, one where every piece is helping elevate the others. But let's not pretend this streak is just about the surrounding cast or scheme adjustments. This is Dak's doing just as much as anyone else's, and the historical context puts his performance into the clearest perspective possible. Only 5 quarterbacks have ever produced a 4-game stretch like the one Prescott is currently riding. Brady's 2007 season is etched in NFL lore. Manning's 2013-14 run was statistically absurd. Rodgers in 2014 was a human cheat code. Breeze carved up defenses with surgeon-like accuracy. And Russell Wilson, at his peak, was the definition of efficiency and explosiveness. For Prescott to join this list isn't a fluke, it's validation of years of work, of countless moments of doubt and resilience, of learning from mistakes and evolving into a quarterback capable of carving out his own place among the NFL's elite. This streak means something much bigger than stats or short-term hype. It signals the emergence of a quarterback finally reaching his prime with clarity and purpose. It marks a turning point for a franchise that has spent years searching for consistency at the position, and for fans who have waited, hoped, and occasionally despaired. It offers a breath of fresh air and a reminder that greatness sometimes arrives not in a sudden burst, but in a steady build that eventually becomes undeniable. If Prescott continues playing with this level of poise, accuracy, and decision-making, the ceiling for the Cowboys doesn't just rise, it disappears completely. The possibilities become limitless. The confidence becomes contagious, and the conversation around Prescott shifts from whether he can be elite to how far he can take this team when everything clicks. And right now, everything is clicking. The chemistry is real, the confidence is growing, the history is being written one throw at a time. And for the first time in a long time, Cowboys fans aren't just watching, they're believing. Keep watching as we analyze more details about some rumors. It's official, folks, and the rumor mill has now exploded into reality. DeMarvion Overshown, the linebacker who has been turning heads in Dallas, is no longer a Cowboy. Yes, you heard it right. The Commanders have swooped in and plucked one of the most talked about defensive talents from under the nose of the Cowboys coaching staff. And the implications for both teams are already sending shockwaves through the league. For weeks, insiders have been hinting at a possible shakeup, and the whispers were growing louder with every practice, every press conference, every casual remark dropped by front office personnel. And now, all of that speculation has been confirmed. Overshown, whose name has been synonymous with dynamic defensive plays, lightning-fast reads, and the kind of instinctual football IQ that separates good linebackers from generational talents, is heading to Washington. And if you're a Cowboys fan, it's hard not to feel the sting of betrayal. Sources close to the situation suggest that this move didn't come out of nowhere. The Commanders have been quietly scouting Overshown for months, analyzing every snap, every alignment, every situational play in which he excelled, all with the intention of finding a weakness to exploit. And it seems they did more than just identify a weakness, they identified an opportunity by signing Overshown. The Commanders are not just adding a player, they are potentially dismantling the defensive blueprint Dallas had been building around him. There's a rumor floating around that the Cowboys defensive coordinator had even started designing a scheme specifically tailored to Overshown's strengths, a plan that now might need a complete overhaul. Think about it, when you craft a defensive strategy around a player's unique abilities, and suddenly that player is gone, the ripple effect is massive. It's not just the physical absence on the field, It's the mental recalibration required for every other defender. The plays that need to be rewritten. The trust in rotations and coverages that now has to be reestablished. The Commanders, whether they intended it or not, have injected a seismic shift into Dallas' defensive ecosystem. And watching how the Cowboys adjust or fail to adjust will be fascinating. Fans have taken to social media in droves, expressing everything from disbelief to outrage. There are those who feel blindsided, claiming that Dallas should have done everything in their power to retain Overshown, given the investment in his development and the pivotal role he was projected to play in the upcoming seasons. Others are more analytical, speculating that Overshown's decision might have been influenced by scheme fit, potential playing time, or even the lure of Washington's defensive culture, which has been quietly building momentum behind the scenes. Rumor has it that several high-ranking sources within the Commanders' front office personally reached out to Overshown over a series of strategic, almost clandestine meetings, laying out a vision of how he would be central to their defensive identity. Some insiders suggest that these conversations went beyond just money and playing time. They were about legacy, about being the cornerstone of a new era in Washington, and about having the freedom to showcase his talent in ways that might have been limited under the Dallas system. There's also chatter about how this move could affect the locker rooms of both teams. In Dallas, the departure of a young star can create tension, not just in terms of on-field adjustments, but in the emotional landscape of the squad. Teammates who had formed bonds with Overshown might feel the loss keenly, and coaches will now have to manage the delicate balance between motivating the remaining players and reconstructing a defensive unit that suddenly feels incomplete. On the flip side, the Commanders' locker room is reportedly buzzing with excitement. Imagine the energy shift when a player of Overshown's caliber walks in. Someone whose presence alone demands attention from opponents and inspires confidence among teammates. The locker room dynamics, the camaraderie, the competitiveness, these are intangible elements that often define a team's identity, and according to whispers from inside the organization, the Commanders see Overshown as a catalyst for renewed, aggressive defensive mentality. Strategically, this acquisition is a chess move of epic proportions. Overshown is known for his versatility, capable of both covering elite tight ends and running backs, and stepping up in the box to stop the run. Analysts have long praised his ability to read plays before they unfold, to anticipate the snap count, and to adjust positioning in real time, effectively turning him into a one-man disruption machine. For Dallas, losing such a player is like losing a piece from a puzzle that you thought was nearly complete. There are already murmurs that the coaching staff will need to adjust formations, perhaps change personnel packages, and rethink blitz schemes that relied on Overshown's speed and instincts. Meanwhile, the Commanders are rumored to be constructing a defensive scheme that not only highlights his strengths but actively leverages the knowledge he gained in Dallas. Insider reports even hint at potential matchups against Dallas in the near future, where Overshown could be used in situations designed to exploit the Cowboys' familiarity with his style. Fascinating, almost poetic twist in this unfolding narrative. The market for defensive talent in the league is always competitive, but moves like this one are rare in their audacity. Overshown's departure isn't just a free agent signing. It's a statement. The Commanders are signaling to the league that they are willing to invest in high upside, transformative talent, and that they are prepared to disrupt established hierarchies to achieve it. Meanwhile, the Cowboys are now faced with the difficult task of filling a void that isn't just numerical, but strategic. Who will step up in Overshown's absence? Will they attempt to replicate his skill set, or will they pivot entirely to a different defensive philosophy? These questions are sparking endless speculation among analysts and fans alike. Rumor has it that internal debates within the Cowboys coaching staff are heated, with factions arguing over whether to double down on developing a replacement internally or to enter the trade market aggressively in search of a ready-made solution. And then there's the human element. Overshown, by all accounts, has been a model professional, hard-working, disciplined, and loyal. His departure is not just a tactical decision. It's a personal journey, a calculated step in a career that is already gaining national attention. Rumors suggest that he felt it was time to carve out a path where he could be the centerpiece of a defensive unit, rather than one of several talented contributors. The Commanders, it seems, offered that platform, and Overshown seized the opportunity. What makes this even more intriguing is the timing strategically, emotionally, and psychologically. This move seems poised to alter the momentum of both teams in ways that we may only fully understand after the next few seasons unfold. Analysts are already breaking down tape, imagining the potential matchups, theorizing on how the Cowboys will respond, and speculating on the role Overshown could play in transforming Washington's defense from a solid unit into a potentially dominant force. In the end, what we're witnessing here is more than just a transaction. It's a dramatic reshuffling of defensive power dynamics, a narrative filled with strategy, emotion, and the ever-present allure of what if for Cowboys fans. It's a moment of shock, of reevaluation, and perhaps even a bit of anger for Commanders fans. It's a surge of excitement, a glimpse of a future where their defense could be both feared and respected across the league. And for Overshown himself, it's a new chapter, an opportunity to define his career on his own terms, and a chance to leave an indelible mark on a franchise hungry for defensive identity. One thing is certain, the ripple effects of this move will be felt far beyond the field, influencing game planning, locker room dynamics, fan sentiment, and the narrative arcs of both teams for months, if not years, to come. Whether this turns out to be a stroke of genius or a cautionary tale remains to be seen. But the story is now official, the rumors confirmed, and the football world is watching closely as DeMarvion Overshown begins his next chapter with the Commanders. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your fellow NFL fans. Stay tuned for more updates. Only here on NFL News Now.